Good evening, I'm Hanomansing. Tonight, the climate compromise at COP.
My delight at this progress is tinged with disappointment.
The day after the 11th hour deal, dismay and concern from many.
It's a death sentence for the poorest people.
Where it leaves our changing planet. The Queen's last-minute cancellation, the latest health setback keeping her from public life. As COVID cases climb, Quebec lifts restrictions.
He asked me in tears, am I going to die?
While others hit the brakes with the holidays just weeks away. From the chaos of the Taliban takeover to a new life in Canada.
I'm happy that we are here and we're safe.
The Afghan interpreter and the former soldier who helped get him out.
I would do anything for him. I would die for him.
This is The National. After 2 weeks of urgent declarations and extended negotiations, the COP26 climate summit is over, and the verdict from many climate scientists and countries, the world made progress, but not enough. The Glasgow Climate Pact does represent an achievement. Nearly 200 countries agreed on rules for putting a price on carbon, an explicit plan for reductions in coal, as well as cutting back on deforestation and methane emissions. But even if action follows those words, climate scientists say the world may still be on track to more than 1.5 degrees of warming. And as Rafi Boudjikanian shows us, the words themselves reflected a compromise that dimmed hopes.
I think the outcome is over 6 out of 10. How about that? I won't say more than that.
The host country of COP26 struggled to declare it a success. After 2 weeks of grueling negotiations, for some even that assessment is too rosy.
It's a death sentence for the poorest people on the planet.
Among the compromises, a last-minute change requested by China and India, from an initial agreement to phase out coal power to
effort to phase down unabated coal power.
For some countries already facing an existential threat from climate change, that one word means abandoning a commitment to keep the world to 1.5 degrees of warming.
What we'd like to express, of course, is not just our astonishment, but our immense disappointment.
Some were quick to downplay the change.
Whether the language is phase down or phase out doesn't seem to me, as a speaker of English, to make that much difference.
You phase down on the path to phasing out.
China gets more than half its energy from coal, India more than 70%, and its economy is growing rapidly.
We can't afford for, India, other developing countries to make the same mistakes that we made to develop massive fossil fuel infrastructure.
But Canada wasn't eager to point fingers.
And they're saying, listen, we have lots of poor people, energy demand is going up in India, and we need to be able to provide energy to our people. And that's certainly something I can relate to.
Some environmentalists say Canada may have another reason not to cast stones.
So blaming India doesn't solve the fact that we are the G20 country that has provided much more funding to oil and gas globally, more than $12 billion a year.
Canada did commit to phasing out much of its international fossil fuel subsidies by the end of 2022. But backing the words of COP26 with more action will no doubt be a focus at COP27 in Egypt next year. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
While India moves to extend its reliance on coal, New Delhi officials say they're considering an unprecedented pollution lockdown as it suffers under a punishing haze of smog. For weeks now, it's been difficult to see clearly or even breathe in the Indian capital. Toxic particulates on Sunday recorded at 6 times the global safety threshold.
Virtual classes.
City officials ordered schools and construction sites closed for the next week. And they're consulting with the national government on doing a total lockdown to help clear the smog. Emissions from within the city, though, are just part of the problem. Every year around this time, farms in the surrounding region burn crop residue, known as stubble. Cooler air means the smoke tends to settle in New Delhi. Farmers say they can't afford to dispose of the stubble any other way. Burning coal poses a similar challenge. It also contributes to India's smog, but switching to something cleaner has upfront costs. that some can't pay. Extreme conditions here in Canada too. British Columbia is being hit with significant rain tonight, swamping roads and highways. Environment Canada is forecasting as much as 100 millimeters of rain for parts of Vancouver and 150 for sections of the Fraser Valley to the east. Not only is it making driving treacherous, some sections of highway are getting washed out.
We just got everybody out of here below. There's a few tractor trailer units that are down here. We've made them unload their trailer and we're turning them around.
This is well into the interior along the Coquihalla Highway between Hope and Merritt, closing that section. Parts of the Trans-Canada also closed in the Fraser Canyon and the Fraser Valley due to rock slides and mudslides. BC transportation officials are asking those in the worst hit areas not to go out unless they absolutely have to. There's growing concern over the health of Queen Elizabeth after she failed to attend Britain's version of Remembrance Day today. Long hailed for her energy and resilience, the 95-year-old monarch has had some health issues recently. Susanna De Silva has more.
After COVID limited last year's ceremonies, crowds returned to Remembrance Sunday this year to pay their respects, with one notable exception, the Queen. As official head of the armed forces, it was her first absence in 22 years. In a statement, Buckingham Palace said the Queen, having sprained her back, has decided this morning with great regret that she will not be able to attend. Her Majesty is disappointed that she will miss the service.
It's the most important thing she does all year long, so that was sad, and was sad for the veterans and sad for people that wanted to see her to know that she was okay.
This would have been her first public appearance in more than 3 weeks after spending a night in hospital with orders to rest for a few days at Windsor Castle.
I'm very glad to have the chance to.
She has been performing light duties, including Zoom calls.
As the impact of the environment on human progress was a subject close to the heart of my dear late husband, Prince Philip, the Duke of
And delivered
Edinburgh.
only a video message to the COP26 climate change conference.
I just want to say that I know that everybody will be wanting to offer their best wishes to Her Majesty the Queen.
The British Prime Minister today tried to calm the speculation about her overall health.
I just wanted to reassure everybody by saying that I did see the Queen for an audience last week on Wednesday in Windsor, and she's very well. So I just, it shouldn't need saying, but I just wanted to say it anyway.
This author and royal watcher says it could be time for the Queen to reduce some of her duties and allow other members of the royal family to step up.
I think we probably should get used to the fact that there may be some no-shows, even at last minute, that don't mean that she's on death's door.
Sources within the palace say the Queen plans to return to light duties next week. Susanna De Silva, CBC News, Vancouver.
And still in the UK, 3 men have been arrested under Britain's Terrorism Act after a taxi exploded outside a Liverpool hospital. The passenger died at the scene. The driver was injured.
Work is still ongoing to establish what has happened and could take some time before we're in a position to confirm anything.
This is what the taxi looked like in the moments after the explosion, the flames turning the vehicle into a fireball.
We are keeping an open mind as to what caused the explosion, but given how it has happened and out of caution, counter-terrorism police are leading the investigation, supported by Merseyside Police.
The taxi had just pulled up to the hospital's main entrance, and police are trying to determine if there's any significance to that location. Within hours, they'd carried out raids in a nearby neighborhood. The UK terrorism threat level remains at substantial. That means an attack is considered likely. Now to the COVID situation in Canada. As we approach another pandemic holiday season, there is a mix of optimism about how far we've come, but also worry that we could easily slip back to darker days. New cases are rising, up by 14% across the country this week. But the number of public health officials watch, or one that they watch even more closely, is hospitalizations. That's down 9%. But experts say it's not the time to let our guard down, since hospitalizations can trail a surge in new cases by days or weeks. In Quebec, more public health measures are about to be relaxed. This is despite a recent uptick in COVID-19 cases. But as Matt Damour explains, the province's premier says it is the right move for now.
It's been more than a year since karaoke bar owner Daniel Park turned on his equipment for customers. Karaoke has been banned in Quebec. Park tried to make some money just selling drinks. It didn't go very well.
Sales is just $1,500. Someday my days will come. I just prayed I can do my business again.
After a year of waiting, Park's business can ramp up starting tomorrow. Quebec is lifting the ban on karaoke, although singers will still have to wear masks unless they're 2 meters away from other people. Dancing will also be allowed in Quebec bars and restaurants, and in high schools, students won't have to wear masks in class.
So far, we're happy with the actual measures.
The new measures come as cases in Quebec are trending upward. The average daily cases at the end of October, about 450. Today, more than 600. But Premier François Legault says the low number of hospitalizations in the province is encouraging.
Today, we're under 190. So it's heading in the right directions, but we have to be careful. We never know if there'll be a fifth wave, so we will follow up.
The move stands in contrast to Ontario, which paused lifting restrictions on dancing and capacity limits at some clubs as cases in that province rose. Epidemiologist Dr. Christopher Labo says there is a risk of transmission with the lifting of restrictions, but the level depends on other measures like the vaccine passport and daily caseloads.
We don't really know what's going to happen, and hospitalizations always lag behind new infections by a few weeks. So if in a few weeks from now we see hospitalizations start to go up in tandem with case numbers, then we might have to reassess.
Tomorrow also marks the start of a partial return to work for Quebec's civil servants. A new hybrid model will see workers splitting their time between work and home. Matt Damour, CBC News, Montreal.
New public health measures started in Yukon this weekend, where cases continue to surge. A proof of vaccination system launched, as well as mandatory masking for all public indoor and outdoor settings where physical distancing isn't possible. New capacity rules also came into force, as well as stricter limits on the number of people allowed for household gatherings. Manitoba has now surpassed Saskatchewan for Canada's highest rate of COVID infections, with severe cases now overwhelming hospitals, and all just as winter starts to hit. Austin Grabish now with how the province is trying to get things under control.
He asked me in tears, am I going to die?
A heartbreaking conversation inside a Winnipeg ER between a doctor and an unvaccinated COVID patient.
It's just awful that it took that moment, being on the precipice of death, to come to that realization.
Winnipeg hospitals are dealing with a surge in critically ill COVID patients and an influx of patients with complications due to canceled surgeries. Doctors Manitoba estimates at least 130,000 procedures have been canceled.
We need all the help we can get. This is a huge problem. It's not going away, and it's only getting worse.
To reduce the strain, Manitoba introduced new restrictions in its southern health region. It has the province's lowest vaccine uptake and makes up a third of its COVID cases.
I am so glad that Jesus loves me.
This weekend, the province started limiting capacity at religious gatherings and requiring everyone at them to wear masks, something that didn't appear to be happening at one church Saturday.
The churches need to step up to the plate as well and say, yeah, we will comply and not skirt the system.
Starting next month, all youth playing indoor sports must be vaccinated.
We do believe that the restrictions that we put in place on Friday the 12th will help to bend that curve.
Back in Winnipeg, this ER doc is begging the 13% of eligible Manitobans who haven't rolled up their sleeves to get the shot.
I don't want to have to see you in the emergency department where I work. I don't want to have that conversation with you when I'm about to put a breathing tube down your throat.
Manitoba's latest COVID modeling predicts a further surge in ICU admissions, with numbers climbing into December. Austin Grabish, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Many European countries are seeing a surge of new COVID cases, and in Austria it's prompted another lockdown, and this time it's for the unvaccinated only. That new lockdown started tonight and will initially last for 10 days. It prohibits unvaccinated people 12 and older from leaving their homes, except for essential activities like working or grocery shopping or getting vaccinated. It will be enforced by police patrols and affects about 2 million Austrians. Steve Bannon, longtime ally of Donald Trump, is expected to surrender to authorities tomorrow. A congressional committee has been trying to compel him to testify about the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Magda Gebrselassie has more from Washington.
Stolen elections have catastrophic consequences.
Steve Bannon sticking to the big lie of a stolen election on his podcast Friday, the same day he was slapped with 2 counts of contempt of Congress. The charges stem from Bannon's refusal to cooperate with an investigation into the January 6th attack on the Capitol. The committee wants to know about his actions before and during the riot, including talks with then-President Trump and comments Bannon made prior to the attack.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow.
Bannon has said he's following Trump's orders not to talk, citing executive privilege, even though he didn't work for the White House at the time. Today, in a statement, Trump said this country has perhaps never done to anyone what they have done to Steve Bannon.
This is an important step for the Department of Justice.
Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren is on the committee that subpoenaed Bannon. Now, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows is also refusing to cooperate.
Bannon and now Meadows appear to believe that they're above the law.
Meadows didn't show up for a deposition on Friday.
When ultimately witnesses decide, as Meadows has, that they're not even going to bother showing up, that they have that much contempt for the law, then it pretty much forces our hand, and we'll move quickly.
On Monday, Bannon is expected to turn himself in to the authorities, followed by his first court appearance. Experts say the fact that it got to this stage is rare.
A lot of people initially refuse to comply with congressional subpoenas. They always end up, normally at least, negotiating their way out of it, coming to a deal, and giving something less than was originally sought.
If Bannon were to be found guilty, he could face fines and a year of jail time for each count. Magda Gebrselassie, CBC News, Washington.
An update tonight on the back and forth between Ottawa and Alberta over childcare funding. Looks like the two sides have worked something out. Representatives from the federal and Alberta governments are expected to announce the details of a childcare agreement tomorrow morning. This comes after Ottawa made deals with 7 other provinces. Now to a Go Public investigation, a Toronto woman fell prey to a growing online job scam and it cost her $3,500. Now she's demanding Canadian banks do better when it comes to protecting their customers. Erica Johnson has her story.
Ivy Hotchkiss had spent weeks looking online for work to help pay her way through college.
Since this was the peak of COVID cases, I figured work from home would be safe for me.
The 22-year-old thought she'd been hired by this national women's clothing company. She was sent a contract and a check for almost $3,500, told to e-transfer it to order office furniture, which she did. Turns out it was all part of an elaborate scam. The real Aritzia had nothing to do with it. The fake check bounced.
It was the most panicked feeling I've ever felt.
According to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, in the first 9 months of this year, almost 1,400 people lost more than $8 million from job scams, often due to fake checks.
We're more connected to technology more than ever, working, being at home, being next to a computer. So this basically put a great foundation for scam artists to use in their model to try to trick people.
Hotchkiss says she trusted TD Bank because the $3,500 appeared to be in her account for 2 days before she e-transferred it. TD said it was her fault for cashing a fake check, but did offer to put a hold on future checks until they've been verified.
I don't understand why this isn't a regular policy for every customer. This would prevent everyone from being scammed.
This law prof says, given the increase in job scams involving fake checks, all banks need to do more.
Because anyone can be a target and a victim of one of these scams. And so having this as a setting, an option that can be used, is a good idea.
After Go Public got involved, TD did give Ivy Hotchkiss back her $3,500, calling it a gesture of goodwill. Erica Johnson, CBC News, Vancouver.
If you have a story to share or a tip you'd like Go Public to look into, you can email them directly, gopublic@cbc.ca. The UN summit may be over, but the key to stopping climate change may be a virtual reality.
What matters is the feeling we get by recognizing this place we may know under the hypothetical circumstance.
Coming up, will seeing the potential catastrophe move us to act? Plus, the supply chain crisis is hitting the books.
Chira, little baby cheetah, was supposed to come out in June.
And
It has a gunner seat?
Ghostbusters superfans gathered in rural Alberta to get a peek at the Made in Canada sequel. We're back in a moment. As climate change intensifies and ecosystems collapse, an estimated 1 million species are at risk of extinction. It's a challenge so vast it can be hard to grasp and easy to ignore. But Alison Northcott explains, researchers have found that there are ways to bring people back in touch with nature and encourage them to protect it.
I love seeing the schools are finished.
It's
Student Michelina Netos is on a virtual visit under the ocean.
You can look down too.
At Brock University's virtual reality lab, researchers including Jessica Blythe are using this immersive high seas experience to foster empathy for the world's oceans.
To try and bring the oceans a little bit closer to people so that they were among one of our priorities when we're thinking about the future and thinking about how to tackle climate change.
It was a really immersive experience.
So far, Blythe says it's working, with participants showing more empathy after the experience. So, will it translate into action? In other experiments, Blythe says it has.
After experiencing a tree planting in a virtual reality environment, people were using less paper in an immediate follow-up behavioral experiment.
Large-scale problems like climate change can be so daunting people can turn off their emotions. But even virtual experiences can help break through that, says this psychologist.
I think it's a necessary condition to get people to care about the problem and to see how it can affect them in a meaningful way.
He says there are other barriers to action, but building empathy is a start. Another project from the Artificial Intelligence Institute in Montreal uses online visual simulations. Just plug in any address and see how it would look in different climate disasters.
What matters is the feeling we get by recognizing this place we may know under the hypothetical circumstance. So we can feel for others who are today already suffering from climate change.
The website also offers suggestions for what individuals can do. Back at the virtual lab, another goal is to influence governments.
And see if we can shift the way policymakers are thinking and ultimately making choices about the ocean.
With the hope of making ocean protection a priority. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
Tomorrow, as we continue to bring you coverage of our changing planet, Margaret Evans takes us to Kenya, where the fight against climate change is a street-by-street battle. How volunteers clear vital drainage ditches in the slums to save lives from flash floods. Kenya's race to adapt and protect as another UN summit leaves some of the world's poorest exposed to the risks of climate catastrophe. That's tomorrow on The National. We've been hearing a lot about issues with the global supply chain. As lockdowns lifted, so has the demand for everything from toys to winter tires. It may even be affecting what's on your nightstand. As Eli Glasner tells us, some publishers are being forced to triage what books they release.
Eric Ko publishes manga, Japanese-style comics. The good news, the pandemic increased interest.
Demand all of a sudden double, tripled.
Here's the bad with one of his bestsellers, an adaptation of Anne of Green Gables.
We are out of this right now.
You're out?
We're out. And we tried to reprint, but it's going to be we lined it up, but it's going to be next April before we can actually get stock back.
It's a perfect storm, a shortage of wood pulp for paper, reduced printing capacity, and higher costs for books from overseas.
Let's say averaged about 40-50 cents a copy extra for shipping charges. Nowadays, last week I got quoted $2.50 per copy, and it's directly eating into our cost.
At Orca Books, they wait every year to see if any titles make it on the Forest of Reading list for schools. This year, several did, but some couldn't get printed.
It's frustrating because, we put 2 years worth of work into getting a book. And before that, the authors put in who knows how many years writing the book and the illustrator.
And unlike other retail items, book prices barely budge.
It's a balancing act between what the market can stand and what it costs us. But I can tell you that, for instance, a picture book for kids hasn't really changed in its price, its retail price, in 20 years.
This author was looking forward to the release of 2 new books in her Simply Small series.
Little baby crow, he was supposed to come out in October. And Chira, little baby cheetah, was supposed to come out in June.
Now the books are still waiting to be printed in China.
Since I might not be getting these royalties from what would have been the new books for the holiday season, which is typically the biggest time for sales. Like if I look at my sales, it always spikes during the holiday season.
While publishers plead patience, she's hoping her books and readers return by spring. Eli Glasner, CBC News, Toronto.
A COVID vaccine for kids could be approved within days, but some will need convincing.
I don't want to. Boo!
Coming up, we'll show you how one clinic is getting ready for kids. But will they be vaccinated in time for the holidays? And will all of this linger yet another winter? Doctors are here to give us some insight. Next. Welcome back. With winter bearing down, there's growing concern about indoor COVID spread across Canada, especially in schools. Health Canada has not yet approved vaccines for kids under 12, but that could come within days. And as Greg Ross tells us, preparations are already underway.
Are you ready, sweetheart?
Today it was the flu shot, but pretty soon 5-year-old Faye could be getting vaccinated for COVID-19.
Did it hurt a little bit? Okay.
A little. I don't really like getting ouchies or anything.
We're doing just over 1,000 a day on the weekends.
Dr. Daniel Flanders runs this flu clinic at KinderCare Pediatric Center every year. But this year, as soon as he gets the green light, he says it's going to become a COVID-19 vaccination center for kids.
We have it in the back of our minds that we're, in a sense, we're training, we're preparing, we're organizing, we're getting our muscle memory working so that when the time comes, we're ready to go.
Dr. Flanders says once they get approval from the federal government, they can transform this clinic into a COVID-19 vaccination center within a week. And Dr. Flanders says there is some urgency. Last week, Canada's chief public health officer said kids under 12 represent more than 20% of new COVID cases.
We have a group of people who have high transmission and zero immunity. This can't come fast enough.
And that has many parents eager to get their kids vaccinated.
We'll be first in line if we can be.
While others admit there is still some hesitancy.
Nervousness, maybe, the uncertainty a little bit, but we still think that we will do it.
For those who have questions, Flanders says they're prepared with the answers.
We're going to have access made available to any parents who need information, who need counseling, who have questions, who are on the fence and they just want to understand a little bit more what are the risks and what are the benefits.
Of course, it's not only the parents that are going to need reassurance.
I don't want to. Boo!
Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
So COVID vaccines for kids under the age of 12 could be just 1 to 2 weeks away in Canada. And there have been some other developments on the vaccine front as well. So we thought it was a good time to bring in a couple of experts. Here tonight is virologist and Canada Research Chair at the University of Manitoba, Jason Kindrachuk. He is in Winnipeg. And pediatric infectious diseases specialist, Dr. Fatima Kakar, and she is in Montreal. Hi to both of you.
Hello. Good evening.
Dr. Kakar, based on what you're hearing, who you're talking to, do you think kids will be able to get vaccinated, that it will be available to children in Canada before Christmas?
It will. It will be tight. So first, we're still waiting for Health Canada approval, but I know the different provincial committees and NACIs are working really hard behind the scenes to be ready as soon as they have word from Health Canada. And so as soon as they'll put out their recommendations and the rollout plan will happen. So we have a few weeks. It'll be tight, but I think we'll have first shots in arms by Christmas.
In your practice, you're talking to children and presumably their parents all the time, Dr. Kakar. What is your sense of how parents are going to react when these vaccines are approved for children?
So there's one group that's ready to go. They're asking me how soon, how, where, what, and so they're going to sign up as soon as those slots open. Now, there's another group that's asking me, do I need this vaccine? Should I take this vaccine? And that's the group that we're being really proactive right now and telling them about the vaccine, and we'll have to have more time with that. But I would say there's about 50% of people that are ready to go out there and get the vaccine as soon as we have it there.
I'm going to bring Jason into this conversation in a moment, but Dr. Kakar, I do want to ask you one other thing about that. Have you thought about what your approach is going to be for those hesitant parents?
Sure, and I think it's really important. So because it's very different in kids than it is in adults, I'm not forcing anyone to make a decision imminently. So there's going to be many opportunities to get the vaccine, and we're going to have many opportunities to talk to parents who may be hesitant. So, for those who are ready to go, the vaccine will be there. But for those who might be hesitant and have questions, we're all gearing up to be ready to answer those questions.
All right, let's change the topic for a moment. Professor Kindrachuk, as you know, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is coming to at least parts of Canada. In British Columbia, they've announced that unvaccinated healthcare workers will be given priority when it does arrive in the province next week. Alberta has announced that it's received 5,000 doses. Saskatchewan is expecting some to arrive. What should we know about what the Johnson & Johnson Janssen vaccine has to offer?
It's a great question, right? We've heard a lot about Johnson & Johnson because this was touted as going to be basically a single-dose vaccine. I think some of the more recent data from the U.S. has suggested that certainly a booster dose is being recommended for those that have gotten that original single dose, but it does provide protection. And I think that's the important thing when we think about this idea of moving into communities where maybe there has been a reluctance or a hesitance based on the mRNA technology and based on this idea that we keep hearing about of potentially waning immunity and some of that kind of discussion. I think being able to have another option for people is very, very important. We have to, though, appreciate that there are caveats that come with this vaccine. It has not certainly, I think, lived up to the expectations of what we've seen with the mRNA vaccines, but then again, not a lot has been able to. So I think being able to have something else in our arsenal is very, very important. If we're able to move, that barometer in regards to uptake by even a couple of percentage points, that's very, very important considering where we stand right now with Delta.
You know, it's interesting, Professor Kindrachuk, is Dr. Bonnie Henry, the Chief Public Health Officer here in British Columbia, said she's received a lot of inquiries from unvaccinated healthcare workers who want the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, who are, I guess, they're reluctant to take the mRNA vaccine. And so you're a virologist. Is there any science behind that, why the mRNA would be less useful or less safe than the Johnson & Johnson vaccine?
It's a good question. I think that, with the mRNA vaccine, certainly there has maybe been this narrative that's been created that these are brand new vaccines and that they haven't been tested prior to COVID. And certainly if you go back through the literature, you look at prior, studies and investigations that have used the mRNA platform, there are years of data that have gone into this and certainly prior clinical trial data that has given us a good safety profile of the vaccines. But there is that uncomfortability, I think, for a lot of people in that this is a new platform. So those questions of what are the long-term effects, how does the vaccine work, what is mRNA, those things I think are still circulating. And of course, social media and misinformation have played into that. So I can understand the hesitancy. I think we need to be quite frank with people about what the benefits are of the different vaccines. But ultimately, if we can get more people vaccinated, that's really the critical juncture that we sit at.
But I guess we can say this, but I'll ask you, Professor Kindrachuk, as far as you're concerned, all of those vaccines are what? Being basically safe for Canadians to use?
Yeah, I think right now when you look at the safety profiles, they are, right? I mean, certainly the mRNA vaccines, we've seen billions of doses so far. Even when we look at AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson, we've seen a lot of data that has come out of population level data, not just clinical trial data. So the vaccines continue to show that the risk versus benefit ratio is so far towards the benefit that I think we need to tout the fact that the vaccines are very, very safe and they do have good effectiveness against symptomatic disease.
I have time for maybe about 30 seconds from each of you on this. You're in different parts of the country, a different perspective perhaps on where we're at in terms of this pandemic and what the next 6 weeks or so will look like as we get into the holiday season. Dr. Kakar, let me start with you. What's the perspective from Quebec?
So we are a little bit worried getting into the winter season, everybody indoors, as well as holiday season altogether. So it's really important that everybody who isn't vaccinated be vaccinated. And we're hoping that when we have more kids vaccinated, the holiday surge is not going to be as bad as we anticipate. But we are a little anxious looking at what's happening in Europe right now with the surge there in anticipation of a potential fifth wave.
And Professor Kindrachuk, we know Manitoba is a hot spot. What's your view of what the next 6 weeks might look like?
We're concerned. Right now we have to figure out a way to get transmission across the province reduced and back to those kind of post-third wave level. I think we're struggling a little bit, certainly with vaccine uptake in certain regions of the province, but we have to appreciate now the virus has moved more broadly. So we have to preserve our healthcare system, and we have to figure out a mechanism to be able to get the virus to stop in its tracks as well as we can over the next few weeks.
Well, as always, really nice having your perspectives. Thanks for giving us some of your Sunday evening.
Thank
you, Ian.
Next on The National, we catch up with Afghans who managed to escape Taliban control.
I do get nightmares. I do have those feelings, and suddenly I tell myself, no, hold on. Now you're like in Toronto.
So what has life been like here in Canada? Plus,
if you don't follow the orders, force may be used against you.
Migrants at the Polish border are facing a dire situation as freezing weather quickly approaches. Stay with us. Tensions are rising on the border between Poland and Belarus. Today, Polish police brought in more forces and equipment in their standoff with migrants. Thousands are camping on the other side of the razor wire fence, hoping to cross into the European Union. But Poland is refusing to let them in. Most of the migrants from the Middle East are sheltering in freezing conditions. The EU blames Belarus for luring them in and then using them as pawns to create chaos in the bloc's eastern flank. Most of the migrants are fleeing poverty or hopelessness in places like Syria and Iraq. Some are facing danger in Afghanistan. When that country fell to the Taliban in August, thousands were brought to Canada. Janella Massa caught up with two of them to talk about their experiences resettling here and coming to terms with what they left behind.
It's nearly 8 a.m. in Ottawa, and Abdul Hakim Azizi is on his way to a new job. It seems so mundane, catching a bus to go to work, but it's a far cry from where he was 3 months ago.
When you think back, did you imagine that you would be here?
No, honestly, no. I'm happy that we are here and we're safe and we're struggling for having a good future life.
His journey started here, surrounded by panic and chaos at Kabul's airport. At times, people so desperate to leave the country they clung to aircrafts.
It was unforgettable moments, yes, definitely. They were shooting, yes, they were shooting on the air, but some people get injured by the bullets that were coming down from the air. So it was a horrible situation.
Hakim had been working as an interpreter for the Canadian Armed Forces in Kandahar and for American NGOs. He'd received death threats from the Taliban and had to get out.
A lot of people were being killed on the street without having them questioned. So it was scary, it definitely. You see?
He managed to get a special visa to Canada with the help of this man, his friend, Tactical Ops Commander Sergeant Tyson Martin.
How's it going, brother?
How are you, though?
He's my brother, man. I would do anything for him. I would die for him. He would die for me. I mean, that's just how we are.
Tyson and Hakim worked together more than a decade ago, completing over 100 missions over 8 months. The bond they created was unbreakable.
August 15th came around, the Taliban had taken Kabul overnight without anybody knowing. And that just sort of fired everything to overdrive. And from there, I started, I don't want to say use the term frantic, but I was essentially on a very focused mission to get him out, find a way either over the mountains or find a way to get him out.
Tyson said that I have checked your profile with the immigration, so you're 100% in the evacuation list, so have everything packed.
I didn't hear from him for 3 days. And once I got that first text message from him, that's one of the greatest reliefs I've ever had in my life, for sure.
So you packed like one?
Yeah.
With just a small suitcase and a single change of clothes, Hakim remembers that bittersweet moment as the plane took off.
That was not happy moments, but the only thing that was going in the head was that, okay, at least you have saved your life, but thousands of new concerns comes in your mind, yes.
He's determined to stand on his own 2 feet, diligently working on his to-do list.
I just wrote a few things here: bank accounts, driving license, credit card. So these were a few things.
Good
for
to have
me.
a list.
Hakim also hopes that his wife, who prefers to keep her face hidden from our cameras, can resume her studies. She attended medical school in Kabul, something she wouldn't be able to continue under the Taliban's rule. Other newcomers have those same hopes for their daughters. Just 3 months old, baby Sola may be one of the youngest to arrive this year. Her name means peace in Pashto, a name her father gave her as his homeland crumbled.
Afghanistan is a country where we had invested our lives, our energy, our dreams, and our aspirations. And quite tragically, on August the 15th, I had to bury them all. Afghanistan ki shamali subon mein.
Journalist Bilal Sarwari spent the last 2 decades on the ground reporting on the region.
The knocks on my door, both for my office and my home, which were next to each other, by various Taliban fighters and commanders, was not only very worrying, but it was very dangerous for my family and myself.
He escaped Kabul with his family and is now trying to come to terms with his past.
The trauma of Afghanistan catches up with you, no matter where you are. Like my WhatsApp messages, sometimes it's the news of an Afghan civilian being beheaded, entire family being killed. So sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night, I do get nightmares. I do have those feelings, and suddenly I tell myself, no, hold on. Now you're like in Toronto, you're in Canada.
Despite those nightmares, he is still reporting and holds on to hope for the future of his country.
Good morning. How's it going? Good, yourself?
Back in Ottawa, Hakim's thankful for the help he's received.
For me, I've been lucky, I think, that I got this job. But for I'm talking about most of those families who don't have some sort of connection, they don't have any relative here, it is hard for them.
He and his wife have started looking for a home, and they hope others will get the same chance they've been given. Janelle Amasa, CBC News, Toronto.
Next on The National, it's been nearly 4 decades since Ghostbusters debuted on the silver screen, and now they're back.
I love this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it. Let's do it.
But this time around, who are you going to call? We'll show you after the break. Ghostbusters Afterlife is one of the most anticipated movies of the year, and it has a Canadian connection. More than one, actually. Hollywood's big stars and production came to some small Alberta towns, including Fort Macleod, and that town even got to have a special screening. Fort Macleod's moment in the spotlight is our moment.
There hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30 years.
Ghostbusters Afterlife was directed by Canadian Jason Reitman, whose father Ivan directed the spooky original more than 30 years ago.
What are you doing here in Somerville anyway?
But the connections don't end there. The new movie was shot in locations across rural Alberta, like this historic theater, the Empress, in Fort Macleod. That's where superfans showed up last night with proton streams and ecto goggles at the ready for a special early screening.
Well, there's something you don't see every day.
A planned appearance by this villainous marshmallow was canceled due to high winds, but sure didn't stop their excitement.
It's every fan of Ghostbusters' dream to be able to see the new movie. We've been waiting for this for a long, long time. For me, it's like a dream come true.
This is the culmination of a lot of hard work and a lot of fan passion. So to have this event in Alberta, it's something we're very proud of.
It is amazing. That movie came out in the summer of 1984, and it created so many fanatics that so many years later are obviously clearly obsessed. And imagine how cool it is to be from that area of Alberta, which stands in for Oklahoma in the movie, and be able to spot things that you recognize. I've been living in Vancouver for 30 years, and I'll still stop dead. Even the cheesiest holiday movie, if it's shot in Vancouver, I'll sit there and for an hour and look for things that I recognize. Anyway, that is The National for November the 14th. Good night.